Just talking about early access, as Ray mentioned with EA when I actually went to Electronic Arts, Baldur's Gate 3 is out. This is something that I've never really played before. I've not played Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 when it came out. I've played them since because of my friendship with Ray. And he was really looking forward to the game. It was being done with Wizards of the Coast's blessing. And I think at this point it would be better for him to discuss his views of the game because my view of the game is that it blew me away from the first hour. Looks beautiful, feels really nice. I really like the Divinity games. I didn't like the second one because the story was awful and I just couldn't get engaged with it. But Baldur's Gate 3, I'm automatically engaged and I really enjoyed the first 3-4 hours that I've played. But he's played it longer than me. He's also a Baldur's Gate fan, so take it away.
Well, Baldur's Gate, I mean, it's pretty. You're right. It's got some good graphics to it. So when you're playing Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, you're a little bit further away from the characters, so you're a little closer this time. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of a different game. But Larian Studios did their
What different game?
Divinity Original Sin.
Yeah, don't say it like it's a naughty word.
It's a naughty word.
It's not a naughty word. Come on.
Well, I mean, what did I expect? It's Larian Studios. They're going to use the format in the UI that they're most comfortable with that works. Yeah. Obviously,
they're also a small team.
Right, so Divinity Original Sin...
They're not a huge developer.
...and DOS 2 obviously worked. The way they do the quests, the way they do the interactions with other NPCs, it feels a lot like what I've played before. So
it's going to feel what you've played
exactly.
Before.
So
it was either going to be a reskin of Baldur's Gate or it was going to be a reskin of Divinity.
Right.
Which one has it become?
And you couldn't reskin BG1 and BG2 because of the fact that the BioWare is no longer using. They're not using their engine clearly, because there you go. So if you're looking for Baldur's Gate 3 to be like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, don't, because it's not. You're looking at Larian Studios using their UI, using their interface to put you into the Baldur's Gate world.
Okay, well let's take a backward step, and I'll ask you this question: what is your opinion of the title of the game?
I don't think it should be Baldur's Gate 3. I think it should be Baldur's Gate something. Baldur's Gate: The Trials of the Mind Flayers. I don't know, something to that.
That would actually be pretty good for what the game
is
about.
It literally is about that. Like Mind Flayers, they were in BG2, BG1. They were the main focus, clearly. This time the main focus is them. As far as what I've gotten through on the content, them early access, I've seen the Mind Flayer stuff throughout the 20 hours that I played it.
Well, obviously that leads into my next question. What's your opinion of it being an early access?
A couple of things I do not like about the early access. Number one is the price tag. £50 for a game in early access that I'm playing it for 20 hours, and that's the end of it. That's all I get. But
Larian Studios' defense, not my defense, I'm not defending them on this, but their defense was that they were releasing a game early so that they could get people to play it while they were still developing it, and much like what they did with Original Sin 2, where they would release it, they would get full price, and then a year down the line it would be the full game and everyone's paying the same price. Because when they did that with Divinity Original Sin 2, people moaned that the people who paid for it a year earlier were paying a cheaper price. So Larian were basically not looking at it from the point of view of, you're telling people to buy this game in early access. You've told them that there's only 20 to 25 hours of content. You've told them that it's rough around the edges. So what is the benefit of buying the game now?
In 2018, I think it was, the announcement was made. So it's been 2 years. And we have 20 hours of game to play.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Considering they're a small team.
I mean,
that's not my problem. My problem isn't the fact that it's an early access. I happen to really like early access. Early access is a very good platform, especially for small developers who need to make that money to help them develop the game. And I do believe that that is the case for Larian Studios. But they should have given the early access people something. Either they promise a pre-order thing of, oh, because you bought this, you can get this character, or something extra.
I remember when
you make it 10 quid less.
I remember when I played Elder Scrolls Online, and I was or SO Online for those of us like to abbreviate. The when I had first gotten SO, it was in beta, and it wasn't full yet.
You didn't have to pay for it.
Huh?
You didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
What?
You didn't have to pay for the beta.
Oh no, but when I finally got the game, right? I got some cool goodies to go with it.
I know what you're talking about.
I got a statue, I got a CD, I got some other goodies. Because I was one of the first to get it.
Yeah.
I got these cool things, but in the same, I don't get anything here.
No.
I don't get any kind of.
Not that they have announced. They might, but they should have told the people who are getting early access now what that could be.
But I paid a price for SO when it came out, and got all the cool goodies, which I mean is fair enough. I mean,
yeah, but I would say this: SO was not broken.
No, it wasn't.
And there was a shit ton of content. Regardless of people's opinions of ESO when it first released, there was hundreds of hours of stuff you could do in that game from release. Yes, there was broken aspects, and yes, the MMO aspects were awful, and that game now is probably one of the best MMOs out there, but when it was first released, it was awful.
Yeah, I mean, I went and got the SO Plus when I first got it, so I did pay. To contradict what you said earlier, I did pay because I paid the SO Plus price for the whole thing.
You didn't have to pay for the beta. I didn't pay for the game, but you didn't have to pay for the beta.
Right.
If you wanted to be part of the beta, which is what you said, you didn't have to pay for it, which is common. Fallout 76 is the only beta that I know of that forced you to buy the full game to access it in beta. So it was. This isn't beta though. This is a game that's full game, but it's in early access.
Wait, excuse me?
Early access and beta are completely different.
It feels beta to me. It's
broke.
No. It's so broke.
No, beta games are usually things where they do it for free and people can go on the server to test stuff. Early access has become the buzzword for it. You're paying for the game, but we're still working on it. That's why Fortnite was.
I think we're still working on it. Is an understatement in this
Fortnite.
case.
Fortnite was a beta, not an early access game. Yeah. Why? Because it was free. Yeah. If they had to put a price on it, it would have to be called early access. That's the way the gaming community is done. I mean, if you disagree with what I said there, because that is my opinion, and that is what I've seen on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox with the game preview and stuff like that, leave a comment below and I'll be happy to debate it with you.
I don't know. I to get back to what we were talking about earlier on with the Baldur's Gate 3, it's for, I mean, I've seen so many people discussing on the Steam discussion tab about, we want it to be like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Well, sorry folks, I mean, it's just not going to be that way.
But it was never going to be that way. I mean,
but I think the impression people got, which is what skewed their vision, was when they made the announcement, they were like, this is going to be a sequel to what we've already done. So people in their minds, they thought, oh, this could be a Baldur's Gate 3. We're going to have a protagonist that's got like all these powers. It's going to be like, set in the Baldur's Gate city, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to follow that same theme that they had before. Yeah. And so
that's not people's problems with it. People's problems comes down to the fact that the characters at the minute from the NPCs aren't wide enough in their view of the world. They all come to basically being abrasive arseholes. They also don't like the fact that the combat is turn-based. Now, for me, I prefer the combat being turn-based because Baldur's Gate, when I played it, was fucking horrible playing when it was real-time. I hated playing it when it was real-time. I did kind of like the whole pause thing. You can make a move, unpause, and then pause and stuff. Like, I could see that being a function that they should put in to Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I don't know why they couldn't, where you could have it live action, where everything flows and then you can pause.
Yeah, but that's not Larian's model. Larian's model was turn-based.
It is at the minute, but this is what they could do. You can put a custom action of what action you want to have. So automatically your custom actions could be go to the first enemy, attack the first enemy.
So you mean a script?
Yeah.
That's much like scripting.
Much like you had in Baldur's Gate 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could not script your characters in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
I thought you could do it in 2.
Or you could. You had the option.
Oh, you mean or. Okay.
Right. So you could script them, or you could not script them and do it all yourself.
Yeah.
It's still real-time combat. You pause the button, you click on your ranger to fire an arrow at that monster. You fight your cleric to cast heal wounds on your ranger, whatever. And then you unpause it, and they all do whatever you just told them to do at that moment. And then if you want to do another spell or whatever, you can pause it again and then tell your cleric to do another spell. Whereas here, it's not the same. I'm waiting for every other monster to go before I go again.
Yeah.
Which is a bit like, it's really hard to plan because you have it up there, the list of who goes next.
Well, that list means nothing, though.
It's ridiculous because...
You've seen the list.
Yeah.
When we were playing multiplayer, right? And I was unfortunately locked out of the room. And the list showed me at the end.
Yeah.
But because I was out of the room, I had to wait until the next turn before I could move. But the diagram didn't make that clear.
No.
So I was, guess what, put to sleep before I could move. And then I just couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So we had to reload and redo it again. But
and a lot of times
it is frustrating.
There's other bugs in there too, which is kind of funny, where we were playing a multiplayer game. I had the main protagonist and the cleric, or I don't know. I had another one, and then you had the wizard, and then somebody else, like your own protagonist, you had. But for some reason, when it came to the wizard's turn that you had control of, you couldn't control him. You couldn't do anything. So it's like.
But then equally, I got the game first because 50 quid. I mean, Ray hesitated because 50 quid is ridiculous. And I got it pure and simply because I knew it was a game I was going to play anyway. In the first hour and a half, I played, and I didn't realize it was broke. 35 minutes of the game was me spent running around the first place going, what the heck am I supposed to do? Because no enemies were lured in. I couldn't do any action. I couldn't jump. I couldn't climb. I couldn't talk to anyone, but there was no one to talk to. Like the goblin camp, the thing, I actually walked to there. No one was there. I actually walked all the way into the goblin camp. Nothing was there. I didn't realize it was a bug. And then when I realized, well, something's going wrong here, I restarted it. And when I did do that bit again, I got a cutscene I didn't get. And then it was like, oh. And then ran up the thing, and then you have an NPC right there. And I was like, oh, all right, okay. So it was broke. But I wasted my time thinking that the game was telling me to explore.
But I'm saying, so if it's not beta and it is early access, I would expect...
If it's early access, usually they're considered alpha.
Yeah. Still,
which is just daft. Like 7 Days to Die is the best example of that. They've been in early access for 10 years, and they're considered still an alpha. But judging by Larian Studios' way of doing things, they'll be in early access for a year. So this time next year, we'll have the full game.
So what I'm going to play next, because I've already completed the content, it's like 50 pounds for 20 hours, and then I'm done.
But that's only right now. The content will increase. And you can choose another character and play it again.
Yeah, but the same bugs are going to be there.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, certain bugs might only re-exist on that character you picked, as in the race. Well, go find out new bugs, and then you can get more annoyed of other bugs you find in other races.
Nah, I'm just. I played my Baldur's Gate. We can play it together. But my next task.
I put this for an example, right? Star Wars, Fallen Jedi Order, or Order, whatever the name of the title is, right? I paid 50 quid for it. How long is that game?
I don't know. How long is it?
30 hours. 30 hours for 50 quid. Now, I don't mind paying that for a game that's got no bugs, has a really good story, and it's amazing, and it's got playthrough ability of you can play it again. Thing that I think there was New Game Plus, and then they added like mission things after a few months. But I'd already completed the game, so I never went back.
Is it multiplayer?
No, it's single player. It's a single player story. That's fine. So if Baldur's Gate was completely a single player game and had no bugs, I'd have no problem with the price tag. Because you're getting experience of 25 hours of really good gameplay, and then you can play it again with a different character. I think I'm fine with the 50 quid. It's just, if it's that broken, you're not going to want to play it. So what's the point of paying 50 quid now for it?
I tell you, honestly, after we play it again, me and you, I'm done with it I'm done with it until it's fully out. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. But why am I going to replay something I already know the story at this point? I already know it.
Yeah, but could you not just do stuff in a different way? Because obviously we've screwed up our multiplayer we're doing right now.
No, I've done a single player while you were having your sleep yesterday. Mm-hmm. I literally got from the beginning to the end of the content in one playthrough, and my characters are maxed out on the levels, and there's nothing else to do.
Is it level 4 max?
Well, 4.5, but yeah. I mean, you can still gain experience after level 4, but you're never gonna get to the level 5.
It's just ridiculous. It's that part of it that I don't understand. Like, why have they capped
because
level to 4?
It's supposed to. I guess the whole 20 hours you're supposed to be a low level campaign.
Fair enough.
So you play through that, and then.
I mean, judging by the menus, we're going to have more than one campaign because they actually have a.
Well, they've already said 3 acts. So what's funny about the act system? Oh my god, it's exactly like the act system from Divinity. Is they have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, whatever.
But that's because they did the game in the same way. Like the first game was a Kickstarter game. They released an early access and built upon it.
But so if I have to wait for, let's say, 6 months from now, they're like, okay, we have Act 2 done. Woohoo! Well, you're gonna have to start over anyway.
Yeah.
Because your saves aren't going to be there. They're done. So the early access part of it was, and I read online about on the Steam thing was, whenever they put out the next patch or whatever next content is coming out, you must start from the old because your old saves won't be compatible with the new content. So start over. So if you enjoyed the first 20 hours of content, you're going to love it when you do it again. Yeah. That's why I'm a little peeved because when we get the third act, now we got to play through all the rest of the nonsense we just played through again.
But I don't mind that because that type of game allows you to be different characters. You can be a mage, you can be a wizard, you can be a ranger, you can be
well, Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition.
I wouldn't mind.
Has a lot more classes than that.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, right? We played all of Baldur's Gate, but we played Baldur's Gate 2 first. Then we decided to go back to Baldur's Gate. Then we played Baldur's Gate 2, and we ended up playing the opening sequence about, this is not me over-exaggerating, about a good 15 times, where to the point of I got bored of trying to play that game because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, and it was literally having to do the opening bit 15 times. Well, that's why we never completed Baldur's Gate 2.
Well, I mean, the Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2 are 20-year-old engines that we're trying to play on PCs that are way. Yeah,
but that's not the problem. I have no problem playing downgraded games like that. I mean,
well, the issue is the speed. So the speed is a problem. So if the processor is processing shit way too fast, then it should the game.
It wasn't that issue. The issue was that we kept changing characters, and if we're being honest, and if you're watching this, there's a certain friend who played with us as a barb who literally made the game a living freaking nightmare. Because he would do stupid shit. Like, sometimes it worked. Sometimes he would clear a room by doing something funny. But then there was other times where he made the game really painful to play. Because he wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, but that's the fun of I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty funny, but...
I mean, there were some times where it did annoy you.
He gets annoyed a lot. Anyway, so
is he.
No, not as much as you do. Especially when it comes to playing those kind of games. Anyway, so, I mean, overall... For the users out there that want to get early access, I say if you want to have 20 hours of good content with a lot of bugs and maybe some corrupted saves, go ahead and give it a shot. I mean, 50 quid is 50 quid. I mean, you paid for it, and you're gonna get the content at some point.
I mean, if you still have a problem with maybe giving it a go, we are planning on playing it together, and I was planning on streaming it live. So if you want to join us when we do that. We haven't really got a plan yet on that because of work and stuff. But when we do that, if you jump onto that live stream and then you can ask us
come take a look. If you want to get access to it without paying the price, come
watch us
play
do it.
And then
we'll even allow you guys to pick our dialogue choices because he knows the game inside out now. I've played a good 8 hours of it, so we're obviously going to start it again from a point and then thing.
Yeah, it'd be great to have some other folks give their opinions on what they think. And let you guys experience the bugs for yourselves without having to fork out the money. Because I know things are rough right now with the current situation in England and around the world. But,
you
know, priorities are probably food, rent, electric, Thanks for watching. If you liked our video, give us a like and smash that subscribe button. For more videos, click to the left. Bye.